Blood, sweat, and tears, I'm working my hardest. Catch you when you stage, you become a target. I'm sweeping the streets, chrome heart spinning with the pockets on beast. Charge 1M cause the toke ain't cheap. Cocaine white, leave my wrist on fleek. The Rolly Daytona got Miami Heat. Don't ask me why I'm back here. I wasn't doing anything. Keep your mind out of the gutter, kids. Yeah. You know the vibes. What I'm gonna call this? I'm gonna call this okay. I got it. What's good with y'all? And welcome back to another video with your boy, Big Ox Shorty. You excited? Cause I am. I know you like the new intro. When I get this do-rag on, I'm sun-kissed, Doc. Just, you know how that go. You know how that go. But, back to the point. Today, we are watching a video by A Preach. Remember how I put A Preach last time? I used a video a little while ago, like 3, 4, 5 videos ago. We doing this again, but this one is about that little show called Cutis, or the movie in Netflix called Cutis. I never watched it, but I saw it got hella backlash on Twitter and Instagram. So this came out a while ago, like a week or two ago. I just never reacted to it. You feel me? But now I am. And y'all gonna react. So if you haven't seen it either, then you gonna react to it with me. Well, whatever they say about it, cause I didn't watch it. And I don't think I want to watch it because what I saw on the little Instagram post, it didn't look too promising. But we about to find out. So let's get it started. Bye.
When I watched this movie, I did not leave it thinking, oh, I can't wait to watch 11-year-olds do that again. I left it thinking, when I raise my kids, I don't think I ever want them to join a dance troupe. Today's topic, Cuties. You guys wanted us to cover this?
Cuties.
The movie?
Oh, I thought you were talking about like good-looking chicks and stuff.
What I'm talking about is like, you know when you play
Sorry,
in the
you gonna see
wrong
Sun-Kissed
playground
Ock later.
and you get caught, and you're like, yo, what are you doing here? And you're like, Cuties. So this is a very controversial topic. It's a movie that came out and it's basically took the internet over. There's a whole bunch of hashtags to cancel Netflix because the movie's controversial, involving 11-year-olds. Okay, so a couple of disclaimers. One, there's going to be big spoilers in this, and the reason why is in order to contextualize aspects of the movies that everyone is critiquing, I need to give the context of what's happening in the story to decide whether or not the scene itself is justifiable or not. And the second thing is come into this with an open mind. When we're having this conversation, I know it's charged, but please don't come at it all crazy. It's kind of like, you know, when I'm talking about trans-related stuff and people are like, I'm fighting for my existence. I'm like, boo-boo, I can't talk to you if you're just being like, we're trying to protect it. I get it. Let's have this conversation. Let's try to be calm. Let's try to dissect this information. How I'm going to approach this is I'm going to separate this into two parts. First, there's the marketing of the film, and then there's the film itself, okay? Because the first wave of criticism that came before the movie even came out.
Yeah,
it was the poster came out, and everyone freaked out, and justifiably so. So when it comes to the marketing of the movie, I agree 120%. It's like the way they presented the poster that they used, the American poster that they used, really didn't portray the movie and really used the most offensive part to lure you in, which is kind of a silly way to do it.
It's almost as if they wanted to do that.
Yes, like outrage marketing.
Yes, they absolutely wanted people to talk about it. Yeah. And guess what? It worked. They wanted people to talk about it.
Right.
So yes, I agree with you. The marketing, a bit trash. Whenever there's something that happens, like the H&M and whatever, all the flops that happen in marketing, and they're like, oh, sorry, we didn't know. And they make these bullshit, like, excuses. And I'm like, you studied. years and years, plus the trends of what's going on with the different marketing, and you didn't know. Like,
I feel like when they brought up,
actually,
I didn't watch the movie.
I was in college,
right,
and I had a class where we had to. I don't remember the name of the class.
I ain't watched the movie, but I feel like
it was to analyze publicity and
put 11-year-olds there to prove a
example, the movie Sixth Sense.
I don't know.
We had to analyze it and see what the meanings of everything in the movie was, because movies are not just movies like that. Example, in the Sixth Sense, the color red. The color red means death. Everything that is red in the movie means death, and it's made like that. The door handle, the dress of the mother is red. The balloon that goes up the ceiling, everything before he sees dead people is red in that movie. So publicity and marketing works like that. They work many years to perfect that. So the fact that, oh no, it was just a slip up,
you don't believe that.
I really don't buy it at all.
I'm not mad at you. And I think also when you consider what the original poster looked like compared to the North American one, the difference is astounding. Like when I looked at the original picture, honestly, it looked a little silly. There's nothing flagrant about it. No. Right? It's like 4 girls fully dressed running down the street.
But the marketing was done for who?
A European market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The North American one had to be flagrant. And so that was the choice that kind of confused me there. And that's why I think when you put out an image like that and you don't, and the description that they gave was very minute and didn't represent the movie after having watched it, I thought it was odd that they did something so flagrant and added such a small description. And so in that regard, Netflix deserves all the criticism that it's getting, because I'm like, you can't be mad at people for not getting the full context when you put out a trailer and you put out an image that doesn't have any context to it.
I can't be mad at them. I can't be mad. And that's hence the reason why I go with what I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was on purpose.
Yes. So now it comes to the second part. Now it comes to the actual film. The film came out recently, and I saw a whole bunch of commentary. You know what really confused me, I won't lie to you, is I saw a lot of people reviewing the movie having never watched it, which seems to be like a trend now. If you're going to critique the film, it's much better if you watch it so that you can properly dissect it and point out every point that's negative. But if you don't even watch it, you can't participate in this conversation in a meaningful way, whether you're for or against it. If you want to really dissect this movie and throw it in the garbage, you have to actually see it to know what it's about.
I'm not throwing it in the garbage, though. I just want to.
I watched the video and I'm like, okay,
disclaimer,
I didn't watch it. Well, like, then why are you reporting
the video ends there?
Good for it or bad.
You can't give me a review what's happening in the movie and the little clips that you saw, and like, no, that's not how it works. And so I took the time to watch the movie. Now, if you don't want to support by paying for it, look, I didn't support, I torrented. And then from there, I was just like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? You can pirate, all right? Am I going to watch, am I going to pay to watch kids get sexualized? No. But if it's free, I'm open to it. Me and Preach come from a dance background. Like, I've been dancing for over 10 years now. Preach probably way longer than me.
Yeah. And I judged competitions.
When I saw the outfits that everyone was freaking out over, I'll be honest with you guys, this is literally what you see at every dance recital. I can pull up videos on YouTube right now of dance recitals all across this country, all across the U.S., all across Europe. Girls are dressing like that every single day. I'm talking about even when they go to dance classes. You see girls 8, 7, 11, 12 dressed like that every single day. Pop in an episode of Dance Moms. What they make those kids wear is way more revolting than even what those girls were wearing in that movie. Am I lying?
Nope. Makeup and everything.
There are twerk teams that you can find right now on YouTube with millions of views, millions of likes. No hubbub. When I saw it in the dance world, I didn't like it. Personally, I thought that they were over-sexualizing young children in order to prop them up as dancers. And basically, they would push these girls and say, this is how you have to dress in order to win this competition. This is how you have to dress. And I've always had a problem. And it's a conversation that me, Preach, or other friends who dance have had. Like, yo, I have an uncomfortable feeling watching certain dance events.
Absolutely.
Because of how these kids are being forced to dress or how they feel like they have to dress. Now, this is a conversation that we've been having for years. 4 years. So when I pop in this movie, I'm expecting it to glorify
routines.
And to my surprise, it does the opposite. I'm going to give you guys the plot. Basically, this is a Senegalese family. They're just immigrating to France. And the mom arrives with her 2 kids without her husband. And she arrive and she's staying with the aunt who's hyper-religious. Okay?
3 kids, but whatever.
Fair. So at this point, they're moving in, all this stuff is happening, and the girl's really brought up in a hyper-religious cultural family. And the mom is revealed to be really sad because she just found out her husband is taking on a second husband. Her husband is taking on a second husband.
Second wife.
No, second wife.
Plot twist.
This is very progressive. Now it's a problem. Now it's a problem. And he takes on a second wife, and you see the mom is really torn up by it, like in private. And the young daughter sees that, and it really hurts her to see her mom having to accept the idea that her husband is just going to take it because of cultural reasons. Mm-hmm. So the daughter, seeing what's in store for her, what her aunt wants her to be raised in, begins to rebel. And what does she turn to? She turns to these young girls who seem to be independent, seem to be so full of strength, and they're fighting against the world. So she joins the crew, right? Mm-hmm. Then they start beating her. They start peer pressuring her. Yeah. Then she starts to kind of undo the layers behind the group and realize these women are actually unhappy as well. Even though they're fighting for likes, some of them are being told they're good for nothing. They have a lot of depression. So she's realizing that getting into that life is not all it's caught up to be. And her situation at home is getting even worse. But she dives deeper into this stuff, and she starts to try to use sexualizations as a means to get things because she wants to escape her reality so bad.
And for a lot of young girls, that's what happened. Listen, it happened to me as a boy.
Bruh. Go ahead, sorry.
No, that's it.
But I grew up in a Muslim family.
Yeah.
And do you know how many times I saw Muslim girls do the exact same thing?
Of course.
Right? The more that the mom was trying to impress that on them.
You live in a Muslim family. I live in a religious family, Christian and everything.
Listen,
and I seen the same thing on the Sunday
too.
you was good, but I mean on Saturday I saw you twerk.
Yeah. As the story progresses and she gets more and more depraved and she's following more for the likes, she starts to do more extreme stuff in order to kind of garner that affection. And you see her descent and you see how unhappy she is. At no point do you watch that and be like, I wish I could do that. The whole time you feel terrible for her because you understand she's going towards a bad place. And the climax is like, there's a performance that they're finally going to do, right? And during that performance, this is what they've been working for. She realizes how unhappy she is. Mm-hmm. And there's like a whole bunch of like African music, I believe it's Senegalese music that's playing, that's really calling her back to her roots. And she just runs away and she goes back home. And her mom tells her, it's a really cool moment. It's a really subtle moment. The mom tells her, you can come back in this house. You don't have to come to this wedding. You're going to be fine. So the girl changes it from her twerk outfit into a very like just regular outfits. She goes outside and she starts hopscotching. And I thought it was a good middle ground. She didn't have to go to that full conservative where she has to accept a second wife.
But she accepted her kid, yes. Her being a kid.
And the child also accepted a sense of modesty where she realized I didn't have to do all of that to be accepted. And so at no point in the movie did I feel like they were glorifying it or making it look positive. They did the opposite, and they did it very clearly throughout. She never looked really happy or well throughout the movie to me. Did she look that way to you?
No, never. It's a quick scene, but she catches one of the kid that was in the crew that she replaced, and what did she do? She comes out of the bathroom and she was throwing up. Yeah. She's a bit chubby, so there's also the image.
Yep.
The image. So there's a lot of, it's really commentary on what is really happening, and saying, yo, you can't show that. You can't show that. See, exactly.
I thought they meant it in a bad light.
You are uncomfortable with the truth.
Yeah.
And sometimes being uncomfortable is not a bad thing.
Yeah. And I saw the post on Twitter. People were just kind of like posting like a list of like bad scenes in this movie but they were out of context. Like the one where she takes a picture of her. She doesn't. First off, they don't show you actually her doing that. But the reason why she does that, and the reason why she goes to that length, is because she wants everyone online to know that she doesn't have a bad crotch because people were making fun of her. So she's going that far in order to be liked on Instagram. That scene where she's like slightly taking off her jacket in order to get the phone from her uncle. It's showing you how far she thinks she has to go sexually in order to get a phone because she's so obsessed with being admired. And at no point do I think, oh, this is great. You're sitting there being like, this is a terrible story. It's tragic. The worst part for me about the poster is that they use the outfits which revolve around the scene when the girl has like her moment of catharsis where she realized what she's doing is wrong and she decides she doesn't want to do this kind of dance anymore, and she goes back home and she chooses a life of more modesty instead of that. So to use her in that outfit right before the climax seems so counterintuitive because it's not a representation of the movie.
The thing that happened is that people have to understand. There's a lot of scenes in the movie that are uncomfortable. And sometimes you have to be. That's what we call a critique of. In order to critique something or to make a commentary of something, I have to put it in your face and show you what I'm critiquing. Or else, what am I critiquing? What am I showing you? I can't show you the example if I don't have the example itself.
Right. It's hard to give people an idea of how bad the cartel war is if I don't show you Pablo Escobar cutting the dude's head off. If I don't show you him feeding a body to animals. If I don't show you kids being shot for not being a good lookout. If I don't show you the depravity of that event, then you won't understand how you're supposed to feel about it when you watch it. In that same token, when I watch this movie, I did not leave it thinking, oh, I can't wait to watch 11-year-olds do that again. I left it thinking, when I raise my kids, I don't think I ever want them to join a dance troupe.
The movie is not the problem. The problem is all the things that they talk about in the movie.
Yes.
The girl wanting to be accepted, the girls in the social media, wanting to be liked. There's all these problems. There's a lot of times in this movie that just girls not being the cool person or people not being the cool person and wanted to identify with the cool crowd and doing almost anything they can, and it's kids, and it happened. The problem is not in the movie. The problem is in actual reality.
Yeah.
And it's depicting that, oh no, I see what the problem is. You know what the problem is and why people were mad? Because in Hollywood, whenever they want to depict a 16-year-old or 15 or 13-year-old, they have 30-year-old playing them. Whenever you see American Pie, all these kids are supposed to be not even in college. They're supposed to be in high school. But you see a kid a pie, but because you see an adult, you think it's okay. But if you look at the story, that's not okay.
And it doesn't have the same impact when you have an older person, because when I'm looking at this 11-year-old and I'm seeing what she's doing in order to get likes, it's showing me the lengths that young children have to go. And I'm seeing an innocent child having to go to these lengths. It hits you harder.
Yeah.
I remember watching Beasts of No Nation. There's a scene where Idris Elba takes one of the child soldiers and says, "Come to my room." And basically, he's going to get one of the child soldiers that he just used to massacre a village to basically give him some top. And the scene is slowly built up. You don't see anything explicitly, but you understand what he's going to do to that child. But if it hadn't been a child, the scene would have had no impact.
Absolutely.
And so when people say you can't use a kid in that kind of context, you have to understand, one, the kid is acting. Two, nothing is explicitly shown for the most part. And three, if you don't have a child there, the scene is meaningless. And when I'm watching Narcos, there has to be kids on the lookout, because kids are the only ones who can go there and be seen in public and nobody bats an eye. They're perfect. Look, it has to be them. People very liking it is not going to be the determining factor of whether or not a movie should exist. To me, that's a really backwards way. You could probably find violent criminals who are going to like violent movies, Scarface, Mafia, whatever. Does that mean that we should get rid of those movies because you think it appeals to them? You know, to me, it's not good. It's not a good train of thought. I understand we want to protect children, and I think that is a very important conversation to have.
Really sweating under his eyes.
But you don't create a better society for children by killing the importance of context. The amount of people who reply to this story or to this movie or critique the scenes without the context, to me, did something that was so disingenuous and rash. You're setting up a society where we don't look at the full story before we react to things. Do you want to raise your kid in that? We already see how bad that's doing when it comes to the news cycle, when it comes to politics, when it comes to so many things. We're killing context every single day. And even if it's for a good cause, it's still a very dangerous, slippery slope to go down. To all the YouTubers who made all these reviews of this movie without watching it in full, your job as a commentary channel is to actually do the work that your audience won't. So to me, it's very lazy on your part for you to just sit there. YouTubers actually like and who do good content. We're so lazy with the response to this movie. I'm not here to try to have an edgy opinion. No. I was ready to hate it.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, we're going in on this. You want me to watch it? You want me to watch it?
This sounds like such a slam dunk. And then I watch it. I'm like, but I can't lie to you guys. I can't sit here and not tell you what I'm actually thinking when I'm watching. I'm like, even though I don't like this movie, this is clearly not what you guys are claiming it is.
I think it's I thought it was a good movie. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you like that because it depicts reality. It's an 11-year-old, and they look 11, and that's cringy.
On the point that By using young children in order to do these roles, they are inherently doing that which they are trying to argue against. I would say this. One can be for a peaceful world and still understand that sometimes war is necessary. In that same token, these young girls participate in a project which they felt really told a story that fought against something that they have to deal with every day. And sometimes portraying that may be the best way to visually show everyone that this is wrong. I think this movie does a better job of displaying why these things are bad than saying, oh, this is exploitation. And I think you cannot really showcase just how bad it is and to what degree these young ladies go through it without having young ladies actually playing those roles. I know you'd like to believe that older actors can do it, but just like in Beasts of No Nation, you really have to have young kids who look like they have full of innocence doing these actions to realize how bad it was.
It's dumb.
I understand people didn't want to watch it because what they'd seen before was so polarizing and looked so bad that you probably didn't want to give this movie a chance or to even look into it.
But I can't
can understand.
But I can't judge it if I didn't watch it.
Fair. That's it. I probably just wouldn't have commented on the movie personally. Let's have that discussion about the over-sexualization of young children. Let's have that conversation. It's worth having. In having that conversation, let's not just be reactive and throw everything under the bus. This kind of hyper-protective society that we're trying to create has made it so that men feel uncomfortable around young children. I don't even want to be around a kid because people go so crazy at it. Do you know how many times I've received the topic, why won't they allow males at daycares? And so many women just post, I would never leave my kid at a daycare where a man is present. This is the kind of society that we fostered where we are so hyper vigilant that everything seems like a threat to kids. And while I know we have to do a better job of protecting kids and it's necessary, we also have to be careful that there may be a cost to this.
And can we just talk about it? Instead of being like, hey, you know what, I'm outraged, let's cancel.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, you don't want to have a conversation about any of the problems that was depicted in the movie. And that's what I have a problem with.
You let us know what you think because we want to hear your perspective. And if you haven't seen the movie, maybe you check it out.
Or don't.
Alright, well, that's the video, y'all. Let me know what y'all learned down in the comments, what y'all heard that surprised y'all, maybe shocked y'all. What I had to say. First things first, go like their video, go subscribe to Abraham Preach, and go turn your notifications bell if you liked what you saw in the video, you feel me? If you did like what you saw, then you can tell why I like them, you feel me? I like how they talk, how they present an idea and a point. I really like how they do that, you feel me? It attracts me to watch the whole video. I like that. When I think about the Cutis thing, that's what I thought, bro. Because most of this, I ain't gonna lie, not to act like I knew all this because I didn't watch the movie at all. And I only saw a handful of Twitter accounts, Twitter posts and Instagram posts about the movie, you feel me? But usually when it's a controversial movie, it's a main point to it. Cancel culture and stuff like that. People are pretty short-sighted when it comes to cancel culture and stuff like that. Like they cancel anything for the smallest point. They how do I say this? They will cancel something without knowing the depth of it. You feel me? Let's say this. Oh, this might be a little. No, I'm not saying that. No. Racism is real. White people are racist, right? But there are some instances where cancel culture could endear that. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. So, a black man. Nope, not even going there. Nope, they white, they racist. I'm not even on their side. Nope. But y'all get what I'm saying. Cancel culture, you saying some people, they won't go in depth with something. They'll just straight go to canceling it, you feel me? But won't go in deep detail or find out more facts about something. They'll just cancel it, not knowing anything deeper than the surface. I'm going to leave it at that. They racist. I'm on y'all side. Fuck you mean? I'm not even doing that. What you talking about? But till next time, it's your boy Bear. You live, man.